ever shown. Just because the frame, what it does with the frame rates once you get up to these high item limits. Yes, since she's not answering, she probably can't hear me.
There's a bit of a delay on my end,
Yeah,
about 20-30 seconds.
there's always a delay
But
on
that's
that
quite
Yeah, there
normal for me
on
with
usually is
Twitch.
Twitch.
on Twitch. Yeah. Test, test. Well, I turned the sound up for me, and I can hear you on my end on Twitch there, Fiendish.
Okay, so you can hear us on Twitch.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I can't tell if.
I have to turn my Twitch sound off because the echo that I get from like we're talking and then you get the Twitch echo when it's on, and it's so distracting. I have to turn my Twitch sound off.
Yeah, I muted mine too. How much time do we have until you're wanting to start?
Enough time for you to smoke?
No, I wasn't gonna go smoke. I was thinking about logging over and advertising Twitch real quick.
Okay. Yeah, we got about 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
Well, it's not too bad. I'm getting about um, 15 FPS with the stream on, so that's doing not too bad for a guild dimension this size.
As long as you can move and make the bit, it should be alright.
Yeah, I can move.
Visions of fishing you out of the water.
Yeah, that's probably what's slowing it down right now is the water effects.
Just try not to get too close to the wall art. It's Zarahana's favourite thing, is to run straight towards it and cause everyone to just die frame rate wise.
Well, I just noticed that there's a ton of metal poles in this roof.
One or two, yeah.
It turned out really well, though. I mean, the whole guild dimension is very, very nice.
I had a blast making it. I got a lot of things out of my system. Big long list of things I always wanted to try that I never got around to doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Included here. Holes. How do you do them so fast? I've got toolbox.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what I would do without it sometimes.
Just get one lined up and just put another 200 down in a line.
Now, do you use Toolbox or Dimension Tools?
I use both.
Yeah, I do too. That seems to be pretty common. I know on the big sets I like Dimension Tools because then I can be lazy and not have to drop everything down.
When the newer one came out, it seemed to work absolutely fine with no problems. But the more you used it, the more it sort of became a bit broken.
Yeah.
And there were some of the more simpler things that it just sort of forgot how to do, and I just reverted back to the original one. Everyone always complained that it would break, and I was just using both. You know, just sort of get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I bounce back and forth a lot, but Toolbox is pretty much my primary. I think mostly because I figured out, I got how to import and export with Toolbox, and I still have never figured that out with Dimension Tools.
Just as long as I can fly around on my magic saucer, I'm fine.
Yes. It looks like Affleck is back just in time. We're going to go ahead and get started. Hello everybody, this is Fiendish with the Dimension Touring Company, and I'm here today with my guest host Affleck of Greybriar. So hi Affleck.
Hello.
And our guest today is Kollette from Gelidra EU. We're going to start out today in his guild dimension. It's Unity Chapter 11, and the guild dimension's name is United We Stand. But before we get started, a little bit of news. Mordicus has posted lately on the forums that we will be having snow projectors come out with 3.2. The good news with one of those at least is it will be able to be purchased with lucky coins. So if you are an avid artifact collector, this is your chance. It's tentatively they're 50 lucky coins. These things are not up on PTS yet, but we're looking forward to them soon. As well with the snow projectors, there's also just a whole rack of NPCs that are about to become available through a variety of means within the game. But the big news, especially if you like to collect wardrobes and have not checked out Riftgrate's post about wardrobe collections, inventory space is about to be freed up in bulk with the new inventory changes for wardrobes. The way it's set up is everything will be in a collection, so as soon as it hits your inventory, it'll apply to this collection, and then with the item itself you can destroy it or do whatever you want to with it. Since I have a bank sitting with 7 tabs full of wardrobe items, that's a change that I, for one, am definitely looking forward to. So for more information about that, you can head to riftgrate.com, or it's on the general discussion thread on the forums. For Dimension contests, currently the only contest going on right now is still Luvinet's Take My Breath Away contest. There's still one more week left for submissions, so if you want to enter this contest, there's 1 week left to submit an entry. And that's going to cover us for news and contest information. About the contest, there may be another one coming up very soon. Look for an announcement shortly. So we'll go ahead and get started. First of all, thank you, Kollette, for coming on today.
That's okay. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I know it was a kind of an informal process to get you on here.
That's all it takes in the end, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And how long would you say that you guys spent on this guild dimension?
3 days, I think.
Really? Wow. That's really fast.
Like total
That's
time
even
building
fast
3
by my
days,
standards.
but there was a bit of a pause, so I think it took about a fortnight in actual real time.
Oh, okay. That's about right. And it was you and Shallow and Zarahana, is that right?
Yeah, and I just need a quick correction as well. The guild name is Chapter 2, not 11.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that.
It's okay. Lots of people are so confused about it.
Hey, I've been calling it Chapter 11 since the first time I was in here before the new guild dimension, when it was still the no fun allowed.
It's just in case some of the officers watch it and I start getting a few. You didn't correct it. I do pay attention.
You know, I know we haven't really started the tour yet, but just looking around, I really enjoy the fact that this doesn't look like the original Dimension.
Yeah, when we built the original, the theme park, we had all sorts of problems because it was off grid, and crashes because it had conflicts with Toolbox and all sorts of silly things. And they wanted to try something in Golem Foundry. And I said, no, let's not waste all that money, like, not yet anyway. I want to try something else. I just want to build up, like, just build over the top of the castle and see what we can get with the good terrain.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe that back mountain in the background, that's the actual terrain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that fits in really well. I really appreciate when someone can take a dimension and you walk in and you're like, whoa! If I had read it when I first came in, I wouldn't have known where I was.
Yeah, we had to play sliding objects into the horizon to see how far back objects would go before they disappeared. That was quite fun.
I ran ahead to start looking at the inside, but first, I love this bridge.
Yeah, it was based on a design that I did for the cottage competition, and seeing as the cottage doesn't exist anymore, the first makeshift bridge was just sort of wooden planks, and it just looked a bit naff, and it needed a bit of a jazz up. So
Yeah,
we
those benches
used the
definitely have
previous
a lot
design
of
and
detail in them, huh?
yeah, the red benches, the Bavane benches, and the redwood worked really well together.
Oh, I see Shello brought in a copy of her, the Headless Horseman picture that she does.
Wow, you are far in, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. Where'd you go, Fiend?
Oh, I'm on the second floor?
Yeah, I was busy sort of sorting out the outside, and I'd got the downstairs sorted out, and I had an idea for the top. And I just said to Shallow, you can just go to town on the middle floor. And she did a spectacular job. I get lost at the water feature.
That, and I was just admiring the way that these stair railings are strung together.
Yeah, there's a lot of stair railings. A lot of stair railings.
Oh yeah.
Once we put them on the stairs themselves and then started putting them as banisters, they just seemed to make sense to incorporate into the walls to break up all the white.
Now I'm heading up, and we're at the mural of the geisha. Now, did you make this one?
My
Kollette?
favourite thing in the universe. Yeah, so that's a me.
I gotta say that's one of the most incredible pieces of wall art I've ever seen in this game.
I agree. Was
A
it all
lot of tears, a lot of
mostly
cursing.
building blocks? I see that her hair has some of the star plants in it, looks like maybe. Oh no, I don't know, it's hard to tell.
I think they are star plants, but everything else is just tiles and rectangles and planks.
That's amazing to me, just being able to maneuver the tiles that way. I would give up at I don't know, a finger.
Oh, for sure.
Well, that's as far as I could get.
The original piece didn't include the hands or the arms. It just came down to the elbows, and it was just hinted that they dropped off the page. And Zarahana, my beautiful assistant, as I nickname him, he came up and he went, "Do you know what would be really good if she was praying?" And about 5 hours later of lots of curse words, it turned out quite well.
I like
I'm really,
the little
really
hint
proud
of nail polish on her nails. Like, come on, really? Come on. So good. I love her. She's beautiful. I even love the little, you can see the tassels from her hair. Little stitches on her, the shoulders of her dress. That's great. You did a great job. So much detail.
Thanks. I actually I got the image off of Google, like a Google search, and I emailed the picture to the person who drew the picture originally. Unfortunately, I never got a response, which is quite sad.
I believe I remember seeing it as your forum signature picture or something to that effect, correct?
Yeah. Originally, when we put the invitation on the big forum boards, we didn't have any images, but after a fortnight, it was sort of included into that post as a. This is what we did. This is really good. Come and see it.
Ooh, something else I kind of like too. If you look straight up, Fiend, the I guess the light fixture he has hanging up there. That's very simple and nifty.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Yeah, we were sort of playing around with what to put onto the ceiling for a lighting source, and those little flasks seem to work quite well in a little array like that. I suppose inspired by the master of spinning objects.
I love spinning objects.
It's quite amazing what you can get one object to do.
Now I've gone into the tunnel here. I'm hoping that
I was
someday,
trying to work out where Affleck was.
I'm hoping that someday we'll get actual building blocks done in this mahogany.
It would be really nice. That wish list is filling up.
I did not realize this tunnel was here, and I've been in here like 5 or 6 times.
It's okay, quite a lot of people miss it.
See, guys, this is why touring with, with somebody who actually has made the dimension is amazing.
This was an in-joke in the guild for quite a while. I always said it would be really nice to build an old-fashioned mansion and put a cupboard and go into Narnia. And everyone always said, why don't you? Because I've got to build the house and I don't want to build another house. So when we sorted this, we had a few hundred blocks left over, and we thought it'd be quite amusing just to put it in as a bit of a joke.
It's a nice little surprise area, though.
When the dimension was open, we had quite a lot of people thinking, that looks like I could run through it. And because they weren't running straight towards it, they kept bouncing off and having clipping errors. So we had to show them how to run in, just from straight in the middle.
And so whose room is this?
I think I claimed dibs. Should be really supposed be the guild leader. But it's mine. It's got my flag in it, it's mine.
It's mine. I already licked the door. Right? Isn't that the thing? Licking's 9/10 of the law?
Yes.
I really like how the shutters are all different lengths of open or closed.
Originally they were all quite open, but with Narnia at the top left, which you can see if you pivot your camera right, it was a bit of an eyesore. Top left, yeah. Oh, I think we've managed to hide that cop.
And you've got it set up so that you can't actually run back there. I don't think.
Yeah, there's a lot of invisible tiles. Otherwise you'd see the mess towards the outside. If you really want to go outside, I don't mind moving a tile.
Oh no, we'll leave the public face out.
I often find that quite nice as a tour. You can let people see the horrors that you've hidden.
Now, you said there was 3 people in total that had a hand in this. Is that correct?
Essentially, yeah.
You guys did a great job with melding it all together. I mean, I know how sometimes working with other people, ideas can cross, and sometimes if you're not careful, it can almost look like 3 different people came in and built, but it fits cohesively, so.
Well, luckily we've basically got the very strong colour theme, and the 3 builders knew to stick to those colours, and it worked out really well. The 2 proper builders were myself and Shallow. Zarahana usually just comes in and assists with a bit of help. Just has very, very good suggestions that bring stuff together. Notably the geisha's hands, the dragon down here at the front, and putting in all the stair rails. He doesn't do any of the work. He just suggests helpful things. Oh, and the bathroom back here, actually. It's been a while since I've been here. He wanted a bath in the downstairs.
Yes, please.
So we demolished an office that used to be here and inserted a bathroom. And again, it works really well.
Yes, it did. I love those chairs making up the edging. And I remember that you had a water wheel in your cottage that's gone now too.
Yeah, I had a lot of little features in my cottage that I quite liked, and they've been pilfered and used elsewhere. I like things that give a hint of animation and movement in Dimensions, otherwise they can be a bit static. Like the flowing water, the water flowing through the electric lines, the water wheel. They all help liven up Dimensions these days.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, and that same water in the bathroom lets out over here towards the front where all the water in the bridge is. I like when it's just a small detail that, you tie in, and it just really brings it all together.
I'm just a big fan of water. These days I can't build a new build without putting in water. It's so pretty.
Yes, it is.
Until you decide to place about 50 of them.
I love this dragon too. But that's as soon as you walk in the door.
Yeah, so based on the Dragonbane's dragons, but I wanted to try like a new way of building.
Yeah.
Until the
wow,
geisha
even
was sorted out upstairs, it was my favourite thing in the building.
Even the roof on the outside, are those poles, single poles?
Yeah, I tried to think how many metal poles there are outside.
That's great.
Toolbox for the win. Put down one pole, just duplicate them off into the distance. It's a design I wanted to put on the cottage, but I didn't have enough blocks because there was a block limit.
Yes, there was. And I love this, the joined hands out front. I really like the one out front.
Yeah, that's it's a guild emblem that we've got on our website. And I really, really wanted to incorporate it, so I got a picture of the picture, And I just sat there for a couple of hours trying to duplicate it. Again, it's a shame we need more yellow.
Yes. But I like the choice of the red here and the way that the wood is designed. It actually looks like tendon and stuff going along the hands. The way that the paint on the wood worked out really well for this kind of design.
Yeah, it's actually surprising. I think it would look a lot worse if it was very bland, the wood panels. I've always wanted them without all the chipping on it, but in this case I am quite glad that it does.
Or how
And
about
it lets you
option for
separate the
both?
two hands. Oh, that's getting picky, isn't it? I
I don't
like
mind
that.
picky.
More
Give me
items,
picky.
please.
I think for me, it's not more items. I don't mind the same items. Just give me more color choices.
Yeah,
And
I'd like all the
textures.
I'd
colours
be
in the
okay with
rainbow.
that.
It's painted wood, please. Got a lot of design sitting on the back burner that I can't build because I don't have enough painted wood.
And textures.
Textures theme. You did such a great job with this. This is really a great place. All of it. It all ties in so well. I do have to say with Fiendish though, this is my favorite, is this little bridge. It really brings you into what you're gonna find in there.
Yes, it does. And this is United We Stand by Unity Chapter 2 of Gelidra. The only thing we didn't show was the entry tunnel, which does a really good job of helping to hide the entry of the base dimension.
We had a lot of people falling through the tiles out front, so we had to put them on some static terrain.
Yeah.
And again, it worked out quite well in the end anyway.
I think the new entry with it enclosed like that helps. It definitely gives the main structure a point of impact.
Yeah, it's definitely a wow factor. You turn around the corner and just go, "What? Where am I? What's going on?" Yeah, playing with the perspective as well for the bridge.
Yeah. Now, our next dimension is another one of your larger dimensions. It's a personal one, and it's Cascade Hall.
I'll see you there.
Awesome.
I might have snuck ahead.
Not been here for a while. It's loaded. There we go. Actually, can we
I think the
party up?
thing-
Because then I can keep track of.
Oh, sure.
Okay, and this is located in Edge of Infinity. Which, from the time we went to free to play, this is one of my favorite dimensions to use.
She's on a public group, so if you just join, there we go.
Yeah, I don't have my UI on either, so I can't see anything coming in.
I really love this water, its reflective properties in this dimension. It's really reflecting that sky beautifully. These pools.
Such a nice tranquil entry point.
Absolutely. And then you look up at the structure and you're like, okay, whoa, let's go look at that.
It's the structure that I had in my mind that I tried describing to people before I built it, and they couldn't get it. And when I finished it, they went, "Oh, that's what you meant."
Yeah, I like how
Couldn't
you
have built this
really
without
tied
Polly.
it into the original structure that's here. Like if you look down at a lot of the base of it, you can see the original Edge of Infinity platforms. But you tied them in so well, I think.
Yeah, the pools surprisingly came out to a nice large size that they almost matched the size of the base plates themselves.
Yes. Now, do you use the enormous pools or the large ones?
These are the enormous ones.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever I need anything, I just give Polly a Rex in the shopping list, which she quite enjoys.
I really love the blue hue of those crystals, man.
Definitely. And you know, coming into the main room, or the main entry room, I spent forever trying to figure out what this spinning thing was at the back wall, and I think I had to finally resort to the packing list to figure out what that was.
I wanted it as the ceiling. No, the floor. I wanted it as the floor, but it didn't light up very well. So I eventually turned it sideways. I placed it over there, and it works quite well. It's like the gears of the machine.
Yes. It took me forever to figure out that was the elevator.
Yeah. Like the geisha, people were running in and just standing, staring at it, going, "I can't work out what this is. I can't work out what this is." And I like doing that to people.
Yeah, I like when it's done. I don't get stumped very often anymore, but I got stumped on that one.
So, tell me what this board is meant for.
Oh, it's the toilet board. It's to indicate where the toilets are. It should say WC for water closet.
I gotta remember there's different words for different areas.
Posh word for toilets. It's all about
Yeah,
the
we don't
posh
have a
people
posh
here.
word for it. I guess restroom would be it, right?
Yeah.
That's not as cool.
The bog.
The bog.
It came in as a secondary feature. I built all this up and then looked at the water and thought, someone's going to jump down. And then had to build the staircase round, and I thought, I've got a lot of space, I can build the bathrooms down there. That makes sense.
Yeah.
There you go. I really like the contrast. You got the spinning when you look forward. You have the checkered above you, and you have the beautiful round black thingy down here that it just gives you, your eyes kind of jump all over the place. And then I get drawn to the staircase as well, so I like that.
I was really torn up about the staircase. I had it absolutely perfect, and then I had to change. Yeah, I had to change down here because I was building the bathrooms. So I had to take all the stairs out, and then when I put them back in, they just didn't work properly. You bounce on them all the time.
And I love this room because these crystals, they look so great in here. And they
The magic
actually...
room.
Do you have lights up there as well, or is that just all crystal?
It's all crystal, except for the thing
Wow.
in the middle. It's just a light of the crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really has taken on... It's funny how different items will take on the atmosphere that we put inside a dimension, because they look very almost blue and purple here.
Yeah, I think it's the lighting that comes with the moon, the autumn harvest moon.
This is my favorite dimension of yours. I love all the little things in here, so we'll have to take a look at them all. I see Fiend already doing it.
Yeah, I'm at the swan made from the standing center crystals.
Yeah, I had a friend look around, and he said, "You know what's missing in this fancy place? You need some kind of sculpture, like an ice sculpture." And I had a look through the list of available items and almost died. They're so expensive, but it needed doing, and it looks really good. I think that's why I like using painted tiles. Yeah, I'll just have 99 of those. That's fine.
And then these the musicians' instruments up here.
I really enjoyed building those.
I'm pretty sure I can safely say that this is the only time I've ever seen a cello.
It's just I wanted to do fancy. I wanted to do over the top posh because that's what the competition meant to me. It was like a New Year's celebration, and that's what I was going for. And a 4-string quartet was what was needed.
Yeah, those are so great. I don't know that I would have the patience to create something like that. And I even like how you have the cases over here that are closed with the idea of more instruments.
Yeah, I wanted to give like a hint of like that's why there is an open one. You know, this is what is inside, and then you can just cheat and like save some items because item count was, you know, quite important in here.
But even better than the violins and the cello. Oh wait, sorry, I got distracted by the tables real quick.
That's cool.
Is this piano? Oh my god.
I think for me, like when I tour Dimensions, I think the first thing I do is I take in like the entryway, and then my eyeball will zone in on that one thing and that I have to run and look at for like 20 minutes before I go back and take it all back in. I think that's what I did here. I must have sensed it because I ran right up and was like, oh, look at the piano.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The grand piano was something that's always been at the back of my brain. I've always wanted to do since Dimensions became available, and I've never really had the chance, the opportunity to sit down and really build it. And when I was building this, I was like, I've got the chance now.
Well, this is where all your items went.
It's about 500 items. Polynomia came in and she said, what you doing? You've got some strange bits of painted wood at the entrance. And I said, yeah, I'm sizing up a grand piano. And she said, you're not going to build a grand piano. I said, yeah, I am. I'm going to build a grand piano with the top open with all the strings inside. And she said, no, you can't do that. And I giggled and said, challenge accepted, come back in a couple of hours. And that evening, ta-da! I'm so chuffed with that piano.
I'm not sure what's worse, was building it or having to click on all of it and move it.
Moving it. Moving it. I think it got moved up in about 4 pieces.
Yeah, you weren't moving the
How many
solid
pieces
one
was
yet.
it?
500?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think I was playing around with one of the sides. I think I was using dimension tools to move it a certain amount in like directions, getting the distance. And once I got the distance sorted out, I could just like move it like 10 bricks at a time, and it just arrived perfect. There was that moment of horror when I was coming upstairs going, please work, please work, please work.
Oh yeah. Because you'd be scared to death.
But, yeah,
I learned. Puzzle.
Yeah, I learned a long time ago never move objects more than 100 bricks. I've built it, I really like it. It's 200 bricks, but I want it over there. Move all of this over there, please. Crash. That probably can't be good. Log back in. Oh, you've moved half of it. Okay, then. Cry. Start again.
Yeah, and then this microphone stand is pretty awesome too.
I kind of like it, but it just looks a bit rustic for the scene. It's just that there's nothing really else to use. I think originally I just had metal poles.
I think we all have those moments, but I think it really helps set the, it's an added detail.
Yeah, yeah. Something to change when they give us better stuff.
Yep.
I love this kitchen too. I love the detail you did on the stove here.
Again, that's a stove that I built for the cottage competition. I couldn't afford to... I really wanted to use the oven again and couldn't afford to buy all the treasure chests, so I just tore the oven out of the dimension, which is why it was closed. And then ended up taking everything else out as well.
Yeah, but this big stove fits in here really well.
Oh yeah, it's a definite must for the sort of catering.
Look behind you too, Fiend.
Yeah, the keep calm.
I'd done the blackboard and it was just kind of empty, and I knew I needed some kind of writing there. And I just envisioned the manager just fed up with saying it, and he just wrote it on the board and just said, "Get on with it, please." And the cakes.
I want...
No, just want to climb in, don't you?
Well, I'm small enough. I can do it. That might be awkward, though. Kollette, there is a pink-haired midget inside the,
Inside the cream cake.
Yes! She looks like
the
she's
taste
swimming!
tester. She's the taste
Doing
tester.
backstrokes in the cream cake. That's me.
So you want Scrooge McDuck's vault, but filled with cream cakes.
Yes! Who doesn't? And if you
Put
don't
that on
like
the
cream cakes, then I don't know.
Put that on the to-do list.
I love this little clock out here. That's very cute.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I wanted to put in some sort of timepiece.
And I like the little, oh gosh, what do you call them? The pendulums or the hanging things? What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, the hanging things. The things that are on the thing over there by that one thing.
It's cool. I've got a
That's
friend that talks like that. I know exactly what you mean.
Is she a
what's her
woman?
face? Who lives with Thingy? Yep, I know them.
Yeah, I love this dimension. I like that it's huge, but you have just these small touches of detail throughout. And that piano, shut the front door.
The floor was very amusing to build. The checkers, it was like really easy to use with dimension tools. But I built the white stones first, and I couldn't tell where the black ones had been when I was putting them in. And every now and then I'd sidestep and fall down. Always do the black ones first.
Pro tip.
Yep. It's how we learn.
Yeah, but this checkered floor is also very dramatic. I was just looking at all the different morphed bottles that were in the bar, and then like the dish racks and everything that was going on in the kitchen.
Yeah. So I built the dishwasher and was sort of getting to work on the cakes and things, and Sarah Hannah came in to have a bit of a nose around, and he went, "The fridge is a bit empty." And I said, "What? What do you mean?" He said, "The fridge, there's nothing in it. Look, it's empty." I said, "Does it look like a fridge? It's supposed to be a dishwasher." Oh. And everyone else who came in said, "That's a really good dishwasher." And I was like, "Oh, God for that." Some people see different things.
Some people never had to work food service.
Some people have never built a kitchen in a dimension before.
Great job on this. I love it.
Yeah, it's my. I want to say it's my favourite. Yeah, it is my favourite personal bit. The Tangled one is up there as well.
Oh yeah, the Tangled one is good. But
Yep.
this one just has those
Yep.
the instruments in it, the time that it took. I just love it.
Yeah, yeah.
I do like this one. Well, I mean, I like all of Collette's work. I do like this one. I think my favorite, though, is going to be the next one that we go look at. Which, the first time I went in it, I had no idea what I was walking into, and it was just like, holy shit, you built the Alien Queen out of building blocks.
This one's nice because it's crisp. Everything's
Yes.
clean. That one's not. That one's moody and messy.
It might be moody and messy, but it's still, I don't know, it's very appealing to me.
Yeah, it's the unique factor. It definitely stands out.
Yeah. One last look at the sweet stuff. One last look at the awesome piano. And now we're going to go check out the Queen's Chambers.
When I
Trying
first
to be a
did
good
this
girl
one,
and wait for everybody. But you know I'm
When
over
I
here
first did this
bouncing up
one-
down.
I called it the Hive, and it got no views at all. And I thought it was a bit too vague. I need to retitle it. Then it got a bit more attention.
I love how dark it looks when you zone in. Really gives the feel, sets the feel for it. And even the sounds of the dimension. I've got my sounds turned up right now, and it's very creepy sounding.
Typically speaking, I don't think of what dimension I can build. I think of what I can put in a dimension. And when I saw this one, I thought, I know what I need to build here.
Yeah, she still just blows me away because it's all building blocks.
Yeah, yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of building blocks.
I just hadn't seen any. People were building houses and they were building buildings, and I hadn't seen any creatures or sort of animals when this came out. And I thought, I'm going to try something new. I want to see what I can do with dimensions before I build a dimension, as it were.
I love how she's obviously laying these eggs, and at the end of her little egg laying apparatus here, you see an egg coming out, getting ready to go down. And I love how
Yeah, it's
you,
the little things, isn't it?
yeah, even you like attached, what is that? Her sack? What'd you call it?
Egg-sack? That'll do.
Her egg sack.
I'm
it's
sure there's a
like
technical name.
It's yeah, probably. It's being attached there to, uh, is that a pole overhead, or is that part of her body there?
The black stuff is just the chitin stuff that they draw out and build a hive with.
Mm-hmm.
Or the resin.
Yeah, the amount of poles you put into this.
It's one of the things at the back of the brain that I could maybe do it again with the new death items, because it's got some really nice webbing in it. But I wouldn't want to take this down to redo it. I'd have to do another one somewhere else. It's just time and money.
Now I know that you tear down a lot of your dimensions based off of whatever contest, based on whatever contest might be going on that you plan to enter. Now, do you ever tear them down to just like maybe refresh them or redo them or whatever?
Well, when I started doing DIMs, I basically had one signature dimension, which was an airship, and I would always tear that down after a few months and put it back up again. And I think I was on about build 5 when I tore it down and didn't really have the enthusiasm to put it back up again. And at that point, I stopped sort of wanting to tear them down to remodel them. I just sort of left them as they're, I've built it, that'll do. Like, I'd want to redo this one, I'd want to redo the summer house. A small list of ones to redo. I had a Millennium Falcon sitting in dormant core for months that was sort of unfinished, that you could walk into. And when I was building the guild dimension, I needed limestone, so I took that apart. And that's always sort of at the backing of my brain going, you're a ninny for doing that. One day I might put it back together again.
Yeah.
This dimension is one of those dimensions where you walk in and you're like, oh yes, and then you walk in and you're like, no, this, give me more. I love it. I love that.
I wanted to
I
do
wish it
people
was
cocooned on the
huge,
walls,
so yeah, that would be good.
but I didn't have a lot of bricks left over, and this was before the Halloween dimension stuff came out, so there were no corpses, and everything that I built just didn't look right, so I just tore them down and added more to the room.
Great.
There was another joke going around as well, which is that if we picked up Golem Foundry, I could do a complete hive, because I'd have like 4,000 bricks.
Oh yeah. And that has definitely looks like Plaza Argentine too, with the same kind of atmosphere on the inside.
Oh yeah, yeah. All the gears and the cogs going on in the background.
Yeah. I don't know, I kind of like the simplicity of this. Not that, she's simple, but that the whole environment has a lot of simplicity, so it definitely directs your attention to the start of the show. Without
Yep, it's pretty much this, just look here.
Yeah, without a bunch of clutter. I couldn't
Love it. Great job.
I couldn't imagine putting this together out of building blocks.
I think the head came first. I was trying to mess around with the jaw, and then once I got the head sorted out, I was like, right, got to figure everything else out now. But as long as it's fun to build, then you're doing it right at the end of the day.
Definitely.
I think the few viewers that came round that I was escorting, they just kept saying, "How did you make the smoke coming out the floor? What's the smoke? I like the smoke. How to do the smoke?" It's just a bowl of steam in the floor. gave lots of people ideas. It's quite nice.
Yeah. And I noticed that you do enter a lot of contests. Is that where you pull a lot of your inspiration from?
When Dimensions first came out, I was sort of building because I enjoyed building. If it's Lego or like Meccano around, I'll be sitting there mucking around with it. But competitions came out and it made me think a bit more. Especially the Tangled dimension. That made me sit up and think.
Yep. Well, and that is actually where we're headed to next.
I see what you did there.
Made it sound on purpose.
Uh-huh.
And I'm heading that way now.
Love the entryway to Tangled here. Very creative.
I see someone's ahead of us again.
Of course. You know it.
Not waiting for you guys.
I'm like a kid at the candy store. I get distracted really easily. I want the gobstoppers. Oh gosh, look at the chocolate coins.
There was a few bits and pieces that I wanted that I was sort of spinning around in my head for the competition. One was a scene from WALL-E. This one, the inside of Rapunzel's room, and the bit at the end of the film, Entangled, when they're on the boats, looking at all the lanterns
And singing.
and singing. The singing bit, yeah. I like the Tangled film. And I couldn't get her purple dress proper. I couldn't get the purple dress sorted out, and it was infuriating me. And I sort of had to abandon it. And I had such a good idea for the hair, and the hair worked, that I wasn't gonna abandon it and do something else. So, do you know how I did the hair?
Yes, tell me.
It's desert terrain paint.
Nice. At first, from looking at it far away, I couldn't quite tell, and I was like, oh man, I hope he didn't use cheese. That's a lot of cheese.
No, cheese had the wrong texture. But it meant some interesting complications for the rest of the dimension.
Oh yeah.
Got to put a
Love
tower
all the
without
little
building blocks.
flowers going up the tower too. Did a great job on that, making it look like it's been here for a while.
Yeah, I had great fun looking at the stills of the video and putting the flowers on the tower.
Yeah, I was just angling back to get a good overall view of the tower itself. I love this tower. It's pretty awesome. This was another one that was torn down too. It used to have a Roman ship in it, didn't it?
Shorewood Island has had about 7 dimensions in it so far. But this one's going to stay. I'm going to resist. I'm not going to tear it down. It had the Roman ship in it. It had a town in it at one point. It had some undead boats. It originally had a mech in it. It was like a 100-foot tall robot. Back in the days of you only had one dimension.
Yeah, I remember those days.
The dark days that we don't like talking about.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed decorating this tower and building it and sorting out all the little bits and pieces and decorating it with all the flowers. And water features. Can't build a dimension without water features.
No, and the water features in here look really, really good too.
If they give us purple items, you might get the boat scene one day.
Yeah, I love this scene. It's the contrast to the huge ashore mountainsides around it, and then you got this pop of color with all the green and the going up the tower and all the wood at the top. Great job.
If you come around the back of the tower as well, I'm actually put the stones and things from the entrance that she uses to crawl up the tower when Rapunzel's.
Oh, I see.
We used to put there was a walkway to go to the top so you could see the top of the tower. But the top of the tower was a bit of a mess, so we took it out.
Well, from down here, when you're looking up at the tower, I gotta say it looks perfect.
The problem with the roof tiles, they just don't work well together, especially spinning them around in and up. But you get the dramatic effect if you're down here. So
Definitely. And there's those Purvane chairs again.
I do like them chairs.
Yeah. Well, they're the tall ones, aren't they?
Yeah. The bottom of the tower had red struts, but I couldn't use red building blocks, so I had to go through the list of items to see what red things there were, and I came up with chairs. And again, they work really well.
That they did. It always interests me to see what people make out of chairs.
Everything except for chairs.
Yep.
The best use for creativity. Forget what it was designed for, use it for anything else.
Yep. Well, I know Diva was the one that gave me an idea to make a pagoda out of chairs.
Maybe we should have a competition for that. You're only allowed to build items out of chairs.
Only out of chairs.
It's the only thing you're allowed, chairs.
I love this place. It was so creative. You did such a great job on it.
Again,
And it's beautiful,
that's the
too.
thing. Yeah, if you like building it, you just sort of stick at it, don't you? If it's hard work and a chore, you sort of put it down and forget about it.
Yeah. Well, the whole point is to have fun at it.
Absolutely. Do we have time for one more fiend?
Yep. Especially since the next one is also one that's small. It's Dragonbane's Rest. If I'm not mistaken, this is from Skyrim, isn't it?
No. I suppose it could be, but I hadn't played Skyrim when this came round. This was just I do a lot of role-playing games, so this was sort of inspired by those.
Oh, okay. And this was another one that just blew my mind when I looked at these dragons and I was like, holy crap, those are poles.
The original idea was sort of like an oriental sort of room with big wooden doors and having dragons sort of etched on the doors themselves. But it was too small and fiddly.
You know what I love about this is I love how even though they're poles or planks or whatever you work on with your artwork, it always looks like whatever you make is in motion. So like the same with the girl in the picture with her hands, she was praying. She looked like she was actually praying. And this one, the dragons, they look like they're moving on the wall with the way you did all the poles and stuff in there. I love it.
Yeah, the electric arcs that come off the sword really help as well because they move the shadows around the room.
Yeah, and I love these walls from the elven tables.
Oh, that was a lot of collecting.
It's a whole lot of
What are you doing today, Carl? Fishing. What are you doing today, Carl? Fishing.
Whole lot of fishing going on.
Never get windows, but I got tables. I'll do the scary thing as well. I'm going to move the back wall so you can see all the pole.
Oh!
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see what people can do in these smaller dimensions.
Yeah, try not to run at them, it will kill your frame rate.
Yeah, I noticed that. Haha, I snuck in on the backside. Well, I certainly couldn't fathom the patience to line up poles like that, let alone any of the other blocks.
Again, it's the joy of Toolbox. I would just slide in a pole so you could put it in an angle so you could barely see it, and then duplicate it so it was on the same plane, and then just move it around. And then typically I'd finished one dragon and I thought I could just duplicate it now. No, it's not going to work like that, Cole. It's going to go wrong because it's all at an angle. So I had to come up with another idea for the other dragon.
I love it. Great job. I feel like these type of mural type artwork that you do, like to me, like when I see a dimension or see something, I can be like, oh, I know who that is, or I feel like this is your signature to me. Like when I go and look at something, if I see this type of pole or plank type of artwork, I feel like I just in my head it's Kollette.
Yeah, my work has got a definite Kollette feel to it. Quite a few people have mentioned that, especially the murals.
Yes.
But I like doing them. I like seeing what I can sort of create.
I love it. Great job, and thank you so much for allowing us to come in and have a little tour and a chat with you.
Thanks for grabbing me. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, it was our pleasure. And thank you very much for your time. And we're only 3 minutes over, which is doing pretty good for us. So thank you, Kollette, for showing us around. Thank you, Aflac, for helping me out. You're doing me such a huge favor. As soon as I hear anything from Diva, I'll be sure to post something about it. We're hoping that she gets better soon.
Yes, we are.
Next week, we'll be looking at the entries of Luvinet's contest. I'm still working on the guest for the 28th, And on April 4th, it has been confirmed we will have Noah Holmes, who some of you may know as Mordecus, on the DTC Roadshow. So until then, we will see you next week. Have a good weekend, and thank you for watching.
Bye, guys.